friends, it's Tracy from Nova Scotia Living, and I got Evie with me. We're going to make some jelly today. I've made it before for the first time by myself 3 years ago, and I made such a big batch that I ran out just this year. Oh, just a minute, boob. Anyways, I got this recipe from the Kneady Homesteader. Her name's Heather, and she has a lovely channel. I'll make sure I put her video down below. But yesterday I canned up a bunch of turkey bone broth. I just took the rings off. I'm getting my sink cleared. Evie, Oliver, Gerald. Because I gotta wash those jars and label them and stuff. So I'm gonna do that. I have all my jelly jars in the dishwasher. I'm gonna wash them and then I'm gonna put them in the oven to sanitize them or sterilize them. And then we're gonna get that jelly going on the stove, hopefully when little Evie lays down for a nap, because that stuff is hot, 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 hot. So anyways, this is just going to be me bumbling along to her. Evie, shush. I'm going to probably triple the recipe that she does, and I did that before and it worked. I really did. I made a ton of jelly. So I'm making Welch's grape juice jelly, so I'll show you the bottle after, but this is going to be just a chit chat, make jelly with me video, and hopefully it turns out. So anyways, let me get my table cleared with all those jars, get the other jars in the oven, and get Evie down for a nap, and I'll meet you back at the table. Alright, well the dishwasher's almost done, then I'm going to stick those jars in the oven for a bit. I washed all these bone broth jars and the pressure canners, which I should have washed yesterday, but I was getting burnt out. So I'm just going to leave these here for now and let them dry and wait for the other jars to be done, and then we'll start working on the actual jelly. Alright friends, well I'm about to lay Evie down for a nap. I was just rewatching Heather's video, and she did 6 cups of juice, 7 cups of sugar, and what would have been equivalent to 2 boxes of pectin. I'm going to double it, but I was just looking at the pectin that I have. I have 2 of these Certo boxes, and I realized they're liquid pectin, so I don't know if that'll do the same. I'm not going to use these. I might use them in a separate pot, but first I'm going to use this Bernardin. I have 4 boxes, so I'm going to double her recipe and use 4 boxes for the jelly I'm going to make today. This is the juice. It's Welch's grape juice. You got to make sure you get the kind that has no sugar added. No sugar. Oh, that's French. No sugar added. So it's just straight up Concord grape juice. That's it. I have 5 bottles of these. And there's just a little over 5 cups in one of these bottles. So I'm going to need 2 bottles, and I'll have a little bit left because I need, well, no, I'll have to open probably 3 bottles. So I will have some juice left. But then either later today or tomorrow, I might try to use this pectin. I've never used liquid pectin. And I tried to look it up on the internet. On the Certo website, they have a recipe for Welch's grape jelly, and it seems super simple, but it just says 2 pouches, and I don't know if that means the dry stuff or the liquid. And I tried to call the number on the back, but their office is closed, so I'm going to wait till I can talk to somebody because I don't want to do all that work for nothing. But at least I can do a double batch of this. I have some jars in the oven now. I just set the oven for like 225 or whatever, and just leave it in there for as long as you need to leave it in there, but at least 15 minutes or so. They're good and clean, and it's just you need to make sure that they're good and hot. So I'm going to go lay him down. I boiled a tea kettle over there too because I need to soak these lids. It just kind of softens up the red ring a little bit. I mean, you can't feel it with your finger, but it gets ready to seal to the jar and stuff. So let me go get my grandbaby to bed, and we'll start moving and grooving. All right, friends. Well, I got little Evie down for a kink, and I'm going to start doing the jelly. So I emptied 2 of these jugs of grape juice and a little bit out of that one to equal 12 cups of juice. I need 14 cups of sugar, so I have bags of sugar over on my bench. I'm going to empty 2 bags of sugar plus 2 extra cups. So, oh no, I don't. I need 4 extra cups. That's right, because there's 5 cups of sugar in each 2K bag of sugar. Yeah, that's right. So I need to get another 2 cups of sugar. That's 2 there. I have another glass thing like that. I'll fill that up. And we're going to move over to the stove. I did put my water bath canners over here. I filled them with water, or, you know, put the water so it'll be up above the jars just to boil. I'm going to put them over here on my wood stove. The stove's not going, but just so at least the water will be warm. And when I'm done making the jelly, I'll put them back on the stove to keep them warm. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I'll be right back. All right, guys, I have you over here. I'm going to turn this juice on because we need to warm it up. I got the rest of that sugar. I actually dumped it into my 4-cup measuring cup, so I'll know. But we need to get this warm. And let me get my pectin over here. Oh, I see a plastic sword over there on the floor Evie was playing with. I have this brand of pectin, and I have 4 boxes, so I'm going to open all 4. Because once this gets warm, we'll sprinkle the pectin over top, and we got to get it to a roll and boil. And that's when we add our sugar and stuff like that. So anyways, I'll bring you back when this starts heating up real good, and we'll add the pectin to it. All right, guys, it's nice and bubbly. We wanted to get it to a roll and boil. I was opening these packages, and it says you should probably, well, it says risk of doubling the recipe could end in failure, but I know I did it before, and I probably used this pectin before because this is the kind that you can get around here. So I'm going to take the risk because nobody got time to do a whole bunch of individual. Not in my household anyways, so I've got enough people in my house. I can't spend umpteen hours of trying to get something done. I'm thinking that I'm going to take out a freezer meal today. It's only, what time is it? 11:04. I have time to do that. We need to bring this back to a boil, and then we start adding the sugar. And this is my pot Harriet, if you guys are new here. Yeah, Harriet has served me well for quite a long time. I was going to use my big stock pot, but I don't think I'll need to use that today. But I'm going to start adding the sugar because that's it's almost time to add it. Because once it starts boiling, this is good and hot though. I'm boiling another kettle of water because I'll need hot water to rinse the jars with. Yes, this is hot. I'm going to turn it down just a smidge. Just a smidge. I'm going to get the sugar and have it over here on the table. So we're going to add this. And you probably know sugar turns to liquid once it's melted. I wish I had a stainless, or you know, like a metal spoon. I used to have one. I don't know what the heck happened to it. A whisk would be good for this too. I mean, I could use a spatula or a potato masher. I really have to. This is just a rinky-dink spoon. That's 1 bag. Because it might clump. And you can use a whisk, which is good, but my whisk is on the fritz. Yes. Yes. So we have it. It'll stay in a clump for a minute. Yeah, I might actually break out my... What can I break out? I have this, but see, all my stuff is old, and I like old stuff, I really do. I just need something that can handle this heat. This turns like hot like candy. Oh, and I've got to get my butter out. We're going to add a tablespoon or 2 of butter to prevent the frothing. because this will froth, and you don't want a whole bunch of foam and stuff on top of your jelly. I mean, you can scrape it off. It's not a big deal. It's not going to hurt you. We still got some more sugar to add. Some sugar. But you can see it's thickening up. We got to get this to a roll and boil again and time it for 1 minute. You get the rest of it. Yeah. When you're little, you don't realize how much sugar is in this stuff. You think you're eating something super healthy, but it's just a sweet treat, really. But no, Harriet's gonna pull through today. It's not up to her rim, so that's good. That's good. So this will take a minute just to get to that kind of temperature. Once it starts boiling, I'm going to put some of that butter in. Yeah, I'm using a flipper. But it's metal, it's not going to melt in the jelly. These clumps of sugar will break up, they will. They'll loosen up. If anything, I can mash them. But those jars are in the oven. The baby's sleeping. And we'll have a whole heck of a lot of jelly by the end of the day. Yeah, what is today? I think it's the 17th of September, 2019. Tuesday. And it's cold. It's supposed to go down to, I think, 3 degrees today or tomorrow. We'll probably have to have another fire in the kitchen. But I don't mind that. I love the smell of a fire. As long as it doesn't get too scorching, bloody hot here. Like, it just makes it cozy. In the winter, we have a roaring fire because it's winter. But in Canada, winters can be harsh. But as long as you're prepared for it, it's good. So, oh, my hand's getting tired. I've been having a little trouble with my left arm lately, just really sore in the elbow area. But I'll just take it easy. I just want to keep stirring this constantly because with all that sugar in there, you don't want it to burn. Nobody wants some burnt sugar. But yeah, if you've been watching for a while, you know we had a hurricane here. We were part of that Hurricane Dorian. I know some of you might be watching this video, you know, years from now. So we just got over Hurricane Dorian. We were out of power for 7 days. We've only had it back, I think, three days now, I believe. Maybe 4, I don't know, something like that. We were out of power for 7 days, so. With a house full of kids, I got 6 kids, 5 live in the house. But I often have my grandbaby or my older baby here for cooking, you know, like for suppers and all that stuff. You got a lot of stuff you got to do. Dishes, toilet flushing, and washing, and keeping the peace, because you know how brothers and sisters can be. Whether you're a mom or a dad watching this, or a brother or sister from when your childhood was, you know you fought with your siblings. I know I did. I have an older sister and a younger brother. Josh and Carrie. I was the middle child. Yes, I was. That's just the way it goes. I'll turn that back up again. Just Harriet gets so hot sometimes. She's a heritage pot and she gets so hot. She cooks really well, but you gotta work with her. So I'm gonna get that butter out of the fridge. Or actually I have some in my cupboard. The kids had toast this morning for breakfast. I'm really hoping that pectin works. If not, I'll try to reprocess it. And if that doesn't work, you can always use it as a syrup on top of pancakes or whatever. I'm going to bring this to a rolling boil. Let me get that butter out so I have it on the ready when it starts. Oh my. Oh, that's not enough. Let me get my other block of butter. I'm using butter. You can probably use margarine, I forget. I'm just going to eyeball it. Once it starts boiling, you'll start seeing some foam come up. But I might have to use a knife to cut that because that's right straight out of the fridge. Just cut a thin slice. There, I'll add that when the time comes. Ooh, I'm gonna have a sticky mess on my stove top. So, I'll bring you back when this gets a little more rolling, because it's just teasing me now. Just teasing me, so I'll be back in a minute. Alright guys, it's a rolling boil. It's not a boil that I can stir down to cool it down a little bit. Put a glove on because the steam is hot. So I'm going to set the timer. For 1 minute. And you're going to stir it constantly. So I'll bring you back when, oh, for goodness sakes. I've got to add that butter. I just put that butter in there. I meant to add that right before it started, but that's okay. Ooh, that is hot. Hot on the hand, I'm telling you. It's good and bubbly. Bubble, bubble, toil and trouble. Keep stirring the bottom too, because I don't want anything to stick to the bottom. Oh gosh, my hand is tired. No, that couldn't be 1 minute, was it? Oh, my butter is melting on the stove top because those jars in the oven. Alright, stop time. Shut the burner off. That's good. I'm going to shut you guys off. I'll bring you over to the table. I need to get the jars out of the oven, and then we're going to start bottling this baby. Yes, we are. So I'll be back. Alright, guys. I took one thing out of the oven. That's my rack. Rack in the water bath canner. I have to use the bottom to one of my pressure canners for my water bath canner because the rack got stepped on in the basement and it's not doing too well. So, oh, let me get my little scoop. I washed it earlier, but just give it another good going over. This is going to be messy. No matter how hard I try, I get sticky. But it's all right. Oh, I have my lids in that boiling water. It was boiling, so it's nice and hot now. I got my rings beside that. I got some more rings over in the drying rack that I washed today, which I'll probably need to use. But let's get this rolling. And I gotta get, oh, I gotta get a bowl. Let me shut that so it stays warm. A bowl of hot water that we need to wipe the rims with. This is some of that second pot of hot water that I boiled. Oftentimes I use vinegar to wipe the rims, especially if I'm using meat or something that could get a little greasy. But no, not today. You can just use hot water. I mean, you can use hot water when you use meat too. I just feel better when I'm using something that could cut the grease if need be. So we're going to fill these jars up about 1/4 of an inch from the top. And since these are little jars, ooh, that might be just a smidge too high. It's already thickening up. I can see that. This would be good if I had like a pitcher of some sort. That one's too freaking high too. Tracey, smarten up. I'm too excited, I guess. But you can just scoop out the extra. Scoop out the extra and use it for the next jar or whatever. Put it back in the pot till you fill up some more jars. Perfect. So yeah, we don't eat jelly every day, but like sometimes PB&J or just jelly sandwiches. It's good on biscuits. It's good on whatever. It's a little sweet treat. My kids, some of them like jam. They just don't like lumps. You know what I mean? So jelly is always good to have on hand. And I don't generally put stuff in little 1/2 pint jars, except jelly. When I canned my mushrooms last time, I put them in little 1/2 pint jars, which worked out good. That's about equivalent to a can of mushrooms from a store. I do have an old video on that if you want to see it. I'll try to remember to link it down below. But yes, this is thickening up nicely. Oh yeah. No, I find canning, it's at work, it is work, but it's very therapeutic for me. Same with baking. I love to bake. And once I get in that mindset or in my groove, it's very therapeutic. It calms me, makes me feel good, happy feelings. I just like it. Maybe I cleaned too many jars, more than I need, but I don't know. But I have those other things of pectin. I don't know if I do those today, maybe tomorrow. Just because I got to think about, I need to go get Maze, my 4-year-old, at 2:30, and then the girls get home around 10 to 3, 2:45, so I'm always in a rush. And then supper, and then homework, and then family time, and all that stuff. So being able to do this while the kids are away, it's both good for me and for them. They can reap the benefits of my work, and I feel good doing it. So, yeah. And usually you would debubble something that you're canning, which means, you know, you poke a little thing down in there and stir it around to make sure there's no any air bubbles. It's not really anything to have pockets of air. Sometimes I still do, because there is little pockets when it comes to something like jelly, but they're not going to be great big air pockets like if you were canning potatoes or tomatoes or corn or peas or whatever. It's pretty liquidy. Hey man. So once my canners are filled, if I still have some more jelly left, I'll just put some more of the jars out of the dishwasher into the oven while these are processing. These only process for 5 minutes once the water starts boiling in the canner. So that's not long at all. I'm used to pressure canning. I pressure can more stuff than I actually water bath can. And I could use my pressure canners. You can use any big pot as long as there's a rack on the bottom. You could use a potato pot or whatever. You just need something on the bottom. But my mom would always make jellies and jams and pickles. She didn't really can a whole lot of meat or anything that I can remember. But pickling, yeah. Jellies and jams, absolutely. Spicy beans, she'd like string beans. She'd can those too. She'd like those, so I suppose she would have to pressure can those. But I just remember growing up, the smell of pickles in my mom's kitchen. And you just know that time of year. Her canners would be out, and the smell of vinegar and dill and, you know, mustard pickles and bread and butter pickles, slicing vegetables, her mandolin that you're never allowed to even step foot close to because they're super sharp, which is understandable. I'm the same way. I don't want my kids even touching. I actually hide my mandolin behind my microwave. That's where. It's not in a cupboard. It's not in a drawer. It's behind my microwave because those are deadly. Deadly. All right, this batch. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Doing good. I have to get a spoon. Oh, my towel's going to be all sticky. And scoop just a little bit out of the first couple of jars. But can you see that's thickening up some? Oh, perfect, perfect. Maze loves his jam sandwiches. That's what he calls them, jelly sandwiches. But you just scoop it out and it'll go in the next jars. Now, these jars are super hot. You wouldn't want to put something hot in a cold jar because it could snap it. And I should say, you need to make sure that you check all of your jars before you even bother washing them to use them for canning. Check them to make sure that there's no chips or cracks around the top of the lid because it's not going to seal, and you'll do this all for naught. You know what I mean? Like it's not gonna seal properly. Ugh, I don't want to touch these jars because I have rubber gloves and they're going to be stinking hot somewheres. Yeah. I'm just a big baby. Those canners are over there heating up. But that looks good, doesn't it? Looking good, looking good. It's just hard to put these on. I don't know if I can touch this. Ooh, it's hot, 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 hot. So, I have hot water in this bowl here. You wipe around the rim because it's not going to seal if there's any jelly sitting on top of there. Like the red seal of the lids that were heating up in that pot there. It's not going to seal because something's in its way. So, that's what I'm talking about. Right there. We just put it on right as rain, and then we take the ring and we put it on. Ooh, that's hot. Fingertip tight. Just, you don't need to use all your muscles, just what you could do with your fingertips. Yeah, that's hot. I'm going to use these lovely lovelies to lift them up and put them in the canner because I'm not messing with that monkey. No, I'm not. Just quick. Wipe it around. Put the ring on. And I have to say, I do your own research, okay? Like, do your own research. They say not to reuse these lids. I do reuse them if they've just been used for water bath canning. Now, I know my lids, when I take them off the jars from my pantry down in the basement, I know what's been pressure canned and what hasn't. I reuse my water bath canned lids. If they were pressure canned, I don't because it gets so stinking hot in the pressure canner. it could compromise the seal. But I do, for the water bath canner ones. I'll use them a few times before I discard them. Now the rings you can keep forever as long as you maintain them and keep them in good order. But you do your own research, because it can get pretty pricey if you have to buy new things all the time. I look for deals. Oh, yeah, I look for deals. And that water over there on the stove is coming up to bubbly. I can hear it. And yeah, this will be nice to have sitting on my table tomorrow morning when I walk in. Ooh. Just wipe it, wipe, wipe, wipe. No, I'm thinking of doing some peas and corn. I don't eat them because I do keto, really, but the kids like them, and they don't have them all the time, but it's nice to just be able to pop open a jar and nuke it for a minute or two in the microwave, or heat it on the wood stove, or something like that. It just adds to a meal, you know. It's a nice little side, traditional side. And I plan, I can pickles and meat and soups and stuff, but I still have lots of pickles in my basement, so I didn't really pickle anything this year. If I can, I don't know. Ooh. If I'm able to attach a playlist to the description box, but if I can, I do have if I'm able to, I should say, able to, I will put the link to my canning playlist, because I think I filmed canning mustard pickles and bread and butter pickles and tomatoes, sauce. Ooh, that's hot. And making bone broth, of course. Oh, a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know if I did carrots or not. I mean, I've canned carrots. I don't know if I filmed carrots. I canned flour before, dry canning. That's something I've been looking into since this hurricane. This is what's kick-started this, because not that we ran out of food or anything, but I'm just like, 7 days was a long time, and it just makes me think, what if it was a month? You know, there was only one store in town for a few days that would, like grocery store in town, Sobeys, that you could go to. The other store opened after a day or two, but you could only use cash. What if you didn't have cash? You know, if I can have some things dry canned, I was looking, you can dry can rice and beans, which I have a whole bunch of beans downstairs. That's another video I think I have. You can dry can, yeah, the beans and pasta. You can even dry can pasta. I do have a food saver, and I seen online that you can buy an attachment to your food saver and put an oxygen absorber in it, and it'll last for 15 years or more. So if I get tired or get interested in trying to do that, I have a whole bunch of quart jars and half-gallon jars. I could dry can some pasta and stuff, because who doesn't like a nice cheesy pasta dish? And for some reason, if something terrible happens, not that I want that to happen, I would have some, because those jars have been sitting down there for quite some time. I haven't used them. I need to get some more rings. Sticky, sticky. And I'll leave these sitting on the table. Gosh, that's hot. Leave these sitting on the table overnight. All those bone broth jars are over on my countertop. Oh, I'll try to get those down in the basement tonight. Yeah, I have to get more rings. That's my last one, so I'll bring you back when we get all of this done, and we'll put it in the canner together. All right, friends, I got both canners loaded, and that took all the jelly, so that's fantastic. I still have jars in the dishwasher, so I'll probably do that other batch tomorrow with the liquid pectin, and I'll probably film that too, but just because I've never used liquid pectin before, so I don't know. But I'm going to put the lids on these, and once it really starts bubbling, boiling, I'm going to set the timer for 5 minutes, and then after 5 minutes, that's it. You take it out, let them cool down, it's all good to go. So I'll keep an eye on it. This one was in first, so you can see it's starting to come up to boil, but I want a nice boil, and yeah, then we'll process these suckers. Friends, can you hear this pinging and popping? Oh, it sounds fantastic. So the timer went off. I was just on the phone with that Certo company, and the lady was very nice, but they don't have a recipe for the Welch's grape juice pectin thing, except for their dry powder. So she didn't want to recommend one way or the other because I haven't tested it. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I might just save that juice because I don't want to do it all for naught. I might have to just pick up some more pectin. Now I see on the back of that Certa box, they have like a strawberry jam recipe with the liquid stuff ready in 30 minutes. I might try that. I'll just buy some strawberries. But tonight or tomorrow when I go into town, I will just go and get some more powdered pectin. But oh, these look so pretty. I want my whole table full. I think I'll leave these a day or two until I get the rest of that jelly done, because I still have almost 3 bottles of juice to use up, and that's what I want to use it for. So yeah, I'll get you in here for a closer look. And yes, beautiful. Ah, there we go. Ooh, I'd wear those as earrings if I could. But the color is nice. I can already see, I mean, they're super hot, so they'd be liquidy now, but I can see where there's some bubbles, like, you know how they're in jelly a little bit, just a few, not dangerous air bubbles or anything that's going to pop the lid off, but that's going to set up just perfect. Oh, and that ping is just music to my stinking ears. They really are. Oh, I thought I'd just show you. These are the jars I have left to fill. The oven's not turned on now. They've already been washed and sanitized, and I'll turn the oven back on before I make jelly again. But yeah, they turned out perfect. See, that's one of those rings that go to my pressure canner, one of my pressure canners. I always do like 2 pots of everything, whether I'm water bath canning or pressure canning. It's just, if you're going to spend the time, in my opinion, get 2 pots going. That's the way I roll. Big batch or no batch at all. So, yes. It is 12:59. Evie's still snoozing. I'm going to kick back and relax and listen to my jars sing to me. All right, friends. Well, it is 1/4. Oh, that's not right. 7:36. And I'm sitting here debating on what to do because I have that liquid pectin. These set up perfectly. They really did. But I was looking for a recipe online for the liquid pectin, and although I've seen a couple comments on the Rebel canners, one lady said that she uses it every time and it works. The other one said you can still use it, but you add the pectin last. I was trying to find a recipe. Hi. Just a sec, guys. Yeah. Just to add the pectin last. Then I found one recipe at food.com, and I wrote down the recipe, and it actually calls for liquid pectin, but it only takes, well, I did the conversion for the amount of pectin I have, like 8 cups of sugar, whereas the first recipe I did took 8 cups of juice. The first recipe was 12 cups of juice, but this one takes 14 cups of sugar, and the first one took 14 cups of sugar, so this would be sweeter, I would say, or as sweet, just more sugar than juice, which the first one is too, but I don't know. I'm not sure whether I should just stick with the regular recipe just as a trial run for future reference to know not to get that kind again, or try this one. So yeah, I'll figure it out. All right, guys, this is coming up. I just heated up a pot of water for the lids. Oh, I'm gonna put one of those, well, I'll wait till after. I'm gonna start adding the sugar. Oh, I hope this works. So this is going to be 14 cups of sugar. Ooh, Nelly. I still have a little bit more to add. I just want to make sure this gets all dissolved. And when this gets to a rolling boil, I'll add the pectin and time it for a minute, like when it's a rolling boil. And that other food.com recipe didn't say to add butter to the mix, but I'm going to add a little bit. Let me get the rest of that sugar. And I'm going to document all this just so I'll know for future reference. There we go. Yeah, I really need to invest in some heavier duty stirring spoons. Break up there, buddy, break up. So I'll bring you back when this gets really rolling. And then, yeah, each box of those, there's a freaking fly in my kitchen. I haven't had one for a long time, and there's a fly in here. The box came with 2 of these little packs, and I'm going to add all 4 of them, and we'll see. Hopefully it doesn't get so hard it's hard as a rock. We'll see. Well, this is taking a while. I keep stirring it because I don't want it to, I don't know, burn, the sugar burn or anything. I feel like it's almost going to start bubbling. And I can see where, if I added that butter, some of that white foamy stuff would go. We'll see. I got my scissors on the ready to cut those open. My house is loud. I kicked everybody out of the kitchen. They keep wanting to come in here. I'm like, no, you gotta get out. Gotta get out. Well, how come? I said, just because. I really don't like people around when I'm dealing with something this hot. For their safety and for my own, to be honest. I'm gonna put that little bit of butter in there. slow poke. Oh, Evie's starting to crank. I'm just going to have them ready here. Two. Yeah, I'll bring you back when we actually add those things, when this thing decides to cooperate with me. Alrighty friends, it's finally coming up to boiling. So I'm going to start adding the pectin. I don't know, I'm supposed to get every little last drop out. 1, 2, 3, 4. So get this to a rolling boil. This is a rolling boil. I would say so. Yeah, once it gets hot, it stays hot. So I'll put the timer on for 1 minute. Oh, no, cancel. That's not right. Timer. There. This is getting high. I'm going to shut that off. Oh, it's overflowing. I'm failing, guys. I'm failing. Oh, what a mess. All right, guys. Yeah. I got to make sure I use a bigger pot next time. Oh, just a minute. That did overflow, and I had one heck of a mess over here on the stove top, but I had to clean it because I have to heat these pots up. I had to take the grate out, lift up the stove, and sticky is all I'm saying. I used almost a whole roll of paper towel. I had to skim a whole bunch of foam off the top of this. I don't know whether it's going to set or not because it's not very thick. I mean, it's not complete water, but maybe it'll take longer. I don't know. I'm going to load up these jars and get them processed and wait till tomorrow to take a good assessment on it. But yeah, I got my jar, or my pot over there with hot lids in it. Got my rings over there, and yeah, I want to get this going. So I'll bring you back when I start, when I'm about to put them in the canner. All right, that's pretty much it. My hands are sticky, but I filled up most of my jelly jars, like those half-pint jars. I have some other little ones, like wide-mouth ones, and these cute little ones. Oh, this is hot. But I'll save those for another day, and I still have 3 of those ones, but I wanted to use up these, and then I had a little bit left. I thought these would be good for little gifts. I have one over there already canned. And yeah, now I'm going to wipe the rims, put the lids on, and screw the bands on, and get them in those stinking canners. Oh, what a escapade. So, yeah, I'll be back. Alright friends, all loaded up. I ended up dumping 2 of those little jars into a jar like this, because I just realized this little one has a chip on the ring, so it wouldn't have sealed anyways. But I just put the last of them in here. I'm about to turn the timer on. I can probably turn it on for that, 5 minutes. This one will take a couple minutes to come up to boil. And yeah, it was starting to firm up a little bit. Maybe it just takes longer than the other one, because the other one seemed to firm up a lot faster. I don't know, fingers crossed. That's not the right time. It is 8:45, so about 10 to 9 I'll take those ones out of the canner and wait a couple more minutes for this one. Alright friends, well it's the next morning. After I took these bad boys out of the canner last night, I went to bed. I was tired with a capital T. Anyways, so this was the first batch. This was the second batch. The one that overflowed on the stovetop and made a giant mess and kind of ticked me off. Using that liquid pectin and stuff. Yeah, I was a little worried because it was still quite runny when I was canning it, whereas that batch started to thicken up quite a bit. But this is one that's not quite full. I'll put this in the fridge, and it's set pretty good. I think it's a little looser. Like it's not liquid. It's a little looser than, say, well, it's hard to tell because it's filled up so much. Yeah, you can't tell, but yeah, just a little different. I don't know if I'd use liquid pectin again. I'll probably try it one more time, but I'd try it in something else. And that was just a test to see if I could work it with the other recipe that I had. But now I have all of these goodies for my basement downstairs, and that'll last for a couple years for sure. It really will. And it was so simple to make. It's just to find the time to do it. Now I did it, so it's all good. So let me turn you around now. Yeah, I just got done packing the kids' lunches. It is 6:35 in the morning. I've been up since about 5:15. I'm about to have my morning coffee. I can hear one of the kids upstairs, but I wanted to end this video now before I forget to end it. Oh, that's Maze up there hollering for me. But anyways, guys, I'm going to say peace, love, and happiness today and every single day. Please like, share, and subscribe if you so choose. But if not, that's okay too. I still love ya. I still want all the happiness in the world for each and every one of you out there. I certainly do. I really, really honest and truly do. Yes, I do. Yeah, so thanks for hanging out while I can this jelly today. And yeah, I'm feeling that cannon bug coming on even more. Alright guys, with that I'll say have a good night or have a good morning, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Boink. Maze. What?